Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the top 10 brawlers in Brawl Stars right now. I'll be ranking them from number 10 all the way to number 1 based on how strong they are, how good they are in ranked. Of course, this is just my opinion, so let me know in the comments if you agree with my list. And also don't forget to subscribe if you like this video. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. Starting off our list at number 10, we have Carl. Carl is a long-range brawler with good health, solid damage and great mobility. What makes Carl stand out is how versatile he is. He can play well on maps with a lot of walls, but he can also use his range on more open maps. His mobility also makes him a great pick for modes where controlling the map and moving between different areas quickly is important. However, compared to the other brawlers on this list, Carl is a little more map dependent and doesn't have as much impact in this current meta. He is still a very solid brawler, but I think number 10 is a fair spot for him. At number 9, we have Damien. Damien is a strong control brawler who is especially good at keeping enemies away from important areas of the map, which is good for hot zone and game grab. One of his biggest strengths is his ability to make certain positions very uncomfortable for the enemy team. This makes him especially valuable in modes where controlling a specific area is important. His damage and area control also makes him a strong counter to some of the more aggressive brawlers. I think Damien is especially interesting in this current meta because he can be a very strong last pick in the right draft. However, he is not as universally strong as the brawlers higher up on this list, so that's number 9. Coming in at number 8, we have Crow. Crow is a long-range assassin with great mobility and one of the best abilities in the game for keeping enemies low on health. His poison makes it harder for the opponents to recover during fights, which can be extremely valuable in longer team fights. Crow is also very good at finishing off weakened enemy and pushing brawlers who rely heavily on healing. His mobility gives him a lot of freedom to move around the map and look for opportunities. However, his lower damage and health after the recent nerf means that he can struggle more against some of tankier brawlers. He is still a strong and annoying pick, but I don't think he is quite as dominant as the brawler above him. At number 7, we have Meg. Meg is a brawler with a lot of survivability and strong sustained pressure. Her biggest strength in the current meta is how difficult she can be to remove from the game. She can take a lot of pressure and still remain a threat, which makes her very valuable in a longer fights. She's also particularly strong against teams that doesn't have enough DPS to quickly deal with her. However, Meg isn't perfect. Some of her matchups can be really difficult, especially against brawlers who can consistently outrange her or deal enough damage to stop her from getting value. That's why I see her as a very strong but somewhat situational pick. Overall, she's still one of the better brawlers in this current meta, which puts her at number 7. At number 6, we have Max. Max is one of the most versatile brawlers in the game because she brings something that almost every team can benefit from: speed. Her mobility allows her to play aggressively, rotate quickly and escape from dangerous situations. But her biggest strength is in how much she can improve her entire team. Her super can completely change the pace of a team fight and allow her teammates to take space much faster. Max is also a very strong pick in maps where mobility and positioning are important. She doesn't have the raw damage of some of the brawlers higher on this list, but her versatility and team utility make her one of the safest picks in the current meta. That's why Max takes the number 6 spot. Now we are entering the top 5. At number 5, we have Star Nova. Star Nova is one of the strongest assassins in the current meta because of her mobility and how much pressure she can create. She is especially good at punishing low health or vulnerable enemies and can quickly turn a small advantage into a team wipe. One of her biggest strengths is that she can be very difficult to pin down. This gives her a lot of freedom to move around the map and look for opportunities. Even after her recent damage nerf, her increased supercharge rate helps her maintain a similar number of attacks needed to get her super. She's also a very strong competitive pick and is frequently considered a ban in high-level games. For me, Starnova is definitely a top 5 brawler right now. At number 4, we have Brock. Brock is one of the strongest long-range brawlers in the current meta, especially on an open map, where his range gives him a huge advantage. His biggest strength is his ability to control large areas of the map while still dealing serious damage from a safe distance. He is also extremely valuable because he can destroy walls, which means he can completely change the map during a match. This makes Brock particularly strong against teams that rely on walls for cover. His current buffies also give him more value and make him even more dangerous in competitive play. I think Brock is one of those brawlers who can completely change depending on the map. On the right map, he can be one of the best picks on the entire game. That's why Brock takes number 4 spot. At number 3, we have 8-Bit. 8-Bit is one of the strongest damage dealers in the game, and his biggest advantage is that he can make his entire team more dangerous. His damage booster gives his teammate a huge increase in damage potential, which can completely change how a team fight plays out. He's particularly strong in modes where he can stay in one area and consistently provide value for his team. 8-Bit is also very strong big on maps where his slow movement isn't a big of a disadvantage. His main weakness is obviously his lack of mobility, but when the map doesn't punish that weakness, his damage output and team utility can be extremely difficult to deal with. He's still one of the most important picks in the current meta, especially in certain game modes like Haste. That's why 8-Bit is my number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have Surge. Surge is one of the strongest brawlers in the current meta because of how much value he can get from his upgrades. The longer he stays in the game and get his upgrades, the more dangerous he becomes. What makes Surge especially strong is his ability to adapt to different situations. His upgrades allow him to become much more effective against different types of enemies. He is also very strong big in a lot of different game modes and maps, which makes him much more versatile than many other brawlers. His current buffies have also made him an important part of the meta. Even after the recent nerfs, Surge remains one of the most consistent brawlers in competitive play. For me, he is easily a top 2 brawler right now. And finally, at number 1, we have Bolt. Bolt is my number 1 brawler right now because of how much pressure he can create throughout the entire match. His biggest strength is his mobility. He can move around the map extremely quickly, which makes him difficult to catch and gives him a huge advantage when it comes to position. He can also punish mistakes very quickly. If an enemy gets out of position, Bolt can take advantage of it before the opponent has enough time to react. His super is also a huge part of why he is so strong, giving him an even more pressure and making him extremely dangerous in teamfights. Even though some of his main attack damage was reduced recently, his overall strength hasn't disappeared. In the current competitive meta, Bolt is one of the most common bans, which says a lot about how powerful he is right now. He has mobility, pressure, and the ability to completely take over the game. And that's why Bolt is my number 1 brawler right now. And that is my top 10 best brawlers in Brawl Stars right now. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my list, and tell me which brawler you think is the strongest right now. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Brawl Stars content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.